Good afternoon to you. Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Tuesday, the 29th of September 2015. Obviously, the top story in the Atlantic Basin right now is Tropical Storm Joaquin, well on its way to becoming a hurricane, I do believe. Very well established outflow to the south and west sides here. Well, not so much the due west side, but we'll call it southwest side. Take my telestration away, and you can clearly see. Look at that sort of curved band look to it. It's just got that overall look. Now, yes, there is still some northwesterly shear attacking this, and you can see that rounded edge to the deep convection, and that is a telltale sign of shear impinging on the what we call the central dense overcast, and you can see that in the chart here from the University of Wisconsin. But the upper level ridge here is starting to expand. Joaquin moving to the west and west-southwest with time, and it's going to get into a lower shear environment. Water temperature is very warm underneath. The upper ocean heat content across the region where this is located also very potent, and strengthening is certainly a possibility. Now, this is from the 11 o'clock this morning Eastern Time advisory package, not forecasting Joaquin to become a hurricane as of 11 o'clock this morning, but I do believe the 5 p.m. update that will come out in a couple of hours will reflect the fact that the intensification is probably starting, and this will more than likely be a hurricane as it gets closer and closer to the central Bahamas here. And so folks there need to pay attention to this very carefully over the next couple of days, as this could be a slow-moving, intensifying hurricane in your neck of the woods. From there, wow, the forecast headaches abound with this system. Some of the models try to take it almost immediately out to sea, maybe near Bermuda, maybe even farther south than that with a quick escape. The key is an upper level system that's supposed to dig into the south here, and then the battle between it and a high pressure area over the northwest Atlantic, and then whether or not the energy just escapes out to the northeast or gets pulled in to the mid-Atlantic states, as some of the modeling is starting to show, and actually been showing the last couple of days. I want to break down the GFS for you. This is the 500 millibar level, and it really shows us the troughs and the ridges very nicely in the atmosphere, about 18,000 feet up. This is valid tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And there's Joaquin showing up all the way at the 500 millibar level, very nicely kind of isolated there. It's not hard to pick it out. Also not hard to pick out the lowering of what we call the heights in the atmosphere, this trough, trying to dig into the southeast United States. And then over here we have a little bit of energy associated with what was once Tropical Storm Ida. 48 hours out into time, the trough starts to dig deeper, and that will certainly keep this from affecting Florida. And then we have to watch what happens right here. This area of the trough, the base of the trough, tries to cut off into its own upper level low, cut away from the rest of the energy up here. And normally that would just kind of pull the storm or hurricane up into the mid-Atlantic states, and it's a fairly cut and dry kind of deal. But what happens at around 72 hours, there's the cutoff low, there's the very well-developed ridge sitting over the Atlantic. But notice Joaquin kind of has this bean shape to it. It's not round, okay? And that's kind of weird. I don't expect to see that happening unless it's being sheared and energy is being bled off in some direction. It just doesn't make much sense considering the organizational aspects to it now and what the forecast models are showing for intensity over the next couple of days. And it gets even worse, if you will, by 96 hours out. This is Saturday morning. There's Joaquin. I don't know what that is. All these other little pieces of energy around here kind of doesn't make much sense. You have a lowering of the heights, almost like a hallway opening up as an escape route, saying, hey, come on, this way. And off it goes into the Atlantic, does not come into the United States. And you say, all right, well, great, no problem. Well, not necessarily. If we go out to 5 days, you see it's still kind of stuck out here, well to the east of the United States coastline. There's Bermuda there. But all these little areas of energy are very suspect to me. There's the very strong cutoff low, which if Joaquin is not here, but is instead up here somewhere, then it should literally just get pinwheeled into the mid-Atlantic or the northeast, and that's what we have to watch for, obviously. And you also have over the top this very strong ridge of high pressure building back to the northwest over time, and this cutoff low, almost like this negatively tilted trough. This just doesn't make much sense meteorologically. It could happen, certainly, and the energy gets bled off to the east, and then we just are stuck with sort of this hybrid upper level kind of weird coastal storm that's not directly related to Joaquin at all. This is another example of what this looks like as a close-up on Saturday. Let's just advance it out to 96 hours. So this will be Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. There's Joaquin. What is that? What is that? And what is that? It just doesn't make sense to me. And then you have this energy over the Carolinas, lots of rainfall and onshore flow across the region, even without the storm, and probably going to be a hurricane. So it's very, very complex to say the least. Looking at the model spread, I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, this is the afternoon models. Looks like it was initialized at 55 knots, which is 65 miles per hour. And then notice this. You got all these different models. This is the GFS operational right here. And you see it escapes south of Bermuda. Some of the models bring it into the mid-Atlantic states. But notice, and this is important, right here, the AEMI, that is the ensemble mean, the interpolated ensemble mean from the GFS ensembles. What does that mean? Well, there's 20 different runs of the GFS, what we call the ensembles, and the mean, of course, is the average of those. And as you can see, you kind of need that one singular ensemble mean to show you the sort of a refined version of all this noise. But notice, it's 20 different members. A lot of them do bring it into the United States here in one form or another. There's a few that escape it out to sea. But going back to the other map, the ensemble mean is almost due north towards southern New England up here. And that's just that's an average. Many of the members do bring it right into the mid-Atlantic states. So bottom line, the next few days, huge forecast headache for East Coast TV station meteorologists, national news outlets, and of course, the National Hurricane Center. There is no easy answer for this. I wrote that in my blog today, that hurricane forecasting sometimes is a huge headache. We wish that it was easy, that we could know several days out exactly what was going to happen, but it's just not possible yet, and this is a very complex situation, and one we're going to have to just follow pretty closely. And that's about it. I mean, if you're in the central Bahamas, you better be watching this closer than anybody right now. And then from probably Wilmington, North Carolina to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, you definitely want to keep an eye on this as well. And from there, we'll just wait and see what happens. All right, well, that's it from me for today. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. I am Mark Sept for HurricaneTrack.com, and, of course, always proud and honored to be able to produce these videos for you to enjoy and hopefully learn something on Hurricane Pro in HD. I will be back tomorrow afternoon with another look at what's going on with Joaquin tomorrow afternoon.